This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
Oil prices dipped on Thursday as a surprise build in U.S. stockpiles fueled fears about slow demand from the world's top oil consumer. Though declines were capped by worries a potential expansion of the Gaza war may disrupt Middle East supplies. Brent crude oil futures were down 6 cents, or 0.1%, at $85.19 a barrel, as of 0635 GMT. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures dropped 10 cents, or 0.1%, to $80.80 per barrel. An expected increase in U.S. inventories of crude oil and gasoline are weighing on the market due to fears of weakening demand, said Tsuyoshi Ueno, senior economist at NLI Research Institute.
U.S. crude and gasoline inventories rose as demand softened, while distillate stockpiles fell last week, the Energy Information Administration said on Wednesday. Crude inventories rose by 3.6 million barrels to 460.7 million barrels, the AIS said, compared with analysts' expectations in a Reuters poll for a 2.9 million barrel draw. Crude stocks at the Cushing, Oklahoma, delivery hub fell by 226,000 barrels in the week, the EIA said. Oil prices dipped following the surprise build. Brent futures were trading at $84.96 a barrel, down about 5 cents, at 15:01 GMT. WTI futures were trading at $80.63 a barrel, off 22 cents.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
The partners in Israel's Leviathan gas field said on Wednesday they plan to invest up to $500 million to expand its capacity after the government approved the export of more natural gas from its offshore fields to boost the economy. Energy Minister Eli Cohen said the decision to more than double the amount of gas allowed for exports would strengthen diplomatic ties, improve Israel's energy security and bring an added windfall to the economy. His ministry gave the green light for the export of an additional 118 billion cubic meters of natural gas from the East Mediterranean reserves, beyond the 105 BCM previously approved. The companies will still need to get specific export licenses for the additional quantities.
The European Union will set out how its member countries should jointly develop major renewable energy projects, in a bid to avoid projects being delayed by disputes over splitting the bill, a document seen by Reuters showed. As Europe's shift to low-carbon energy gathers pace, countries are planning major new wind farms and other offshore energy projects that will link to multiple nations. How governments and companies in these countries split the bill for such projects is an open question, and Brussels is concerned that disputes over who should pay could hamper the build-out of these major new green energy hubs. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. Copper futures inched higher on Thursday, although a firmer dollar and uncertainty over economic recovery in top consumer China kept prices of the red metal near a 2-month low. 3-month copper on the London Metal Exchange was up 0.2% at $9,558.50 per metric ton, as of 0429 GMT. Still, the contract hovered near its lowest since April 18th hit in the previous session. After reaching a record high of $11,104.50 on May 20th, prices have fallen by nearly 14% amid sluggish data from China and uncertainty surrounding U.S. interest rates. China's industrial profit growth slowed sharply in May, according to data, as weak domestic demand crimps overall growth.
4 decades ago, a rare earth processing plant on France's Atlantic coast was one of the largest in the world, churning out materials used to make color televisions, arc lights and camera lenses. Its current owner Solvay is racing to return the plant at La Rochelle to its former glory after years of diminished output as Europe seeks to boost production of the minerals fueling the green energy transition. The factory's 76-year history is a microcosm of the challenges Europe and the United States face as they seek to reverse massive migration of rare earth processing to China that took place around 25 years ago.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
India on Wednesday allowed limited imports of corn, crude sunflower oil, refined rapeseed oil, and milk powder under the tariff rate quota, where importers pay nil or lower duty, as New Delhi tries to bring down food inflation. India is the world's biggest importer of vegetable oils such as palm oil, soy oil and sunflower oil, and the top producer of milk. India has allowed imports of 150,000 metric tons of sunflower oil or safflower oil, 500,000 tons of corn, 10,000 tons of milk powder and 150,000 tons of refined rapeseed oil, the government said.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.